The headshot was perfect. Through the scope, Jordan watched the terrorist drop, the hostage unharmed, already being pulled to safety by the extraction team. Her spotter, Sergeant Danny Ortiz, whistled low. 1950 meters in a crosswind. That's inhuman, Lieutenant Commander. Jordan didn't respond. She was already breaking down her position, muscle memory taking over while her mind processed something else entirely. The intelligence packet that had come through encrypted channels 3 days ago. The one that mentioned American contractors operating in the region. The one that used the word procurement in ways that made Jordan's skin crawl. "Hayes, you good?" She looked at Danny, 23 years old, eager, still thought every mission had a clean ending. "Yeah, let's move." But she wasn't good. Something in that intel report had triggered an instinct she'd learned to trust over 8 years as a SEAL. The kind of instinct that said the enemy wasn't always wearing the uniform you expected. 21 days later. Jordan's phone buzzed during the team debrief at Naval Special Warfare Command headquarters in Coronado. She normally silenced everything during briefings, but she'd left it on for one reason. Her sister Rachel was overdue for her weekly call. The message wasn't from Rachel. It was from an encrypted app Jordan had set up for her sister 2 years ago, when Rachel had started working with refugee aid organizations in Southeast Asia. The kind of app you only used when normal communication wasn't safe. Jordan's stomach dropped before she even opened it. "Hayes, you with us?" Commander Mitchell's voice cut through her spiraling thoughts. "Sir, I need to—" "This is a classified debrief about Yemen. Whatever it is can wait." Jordan looked down at her phone. The preview showed just 2 words. "They're selling." Her hands shook. "Sir, respectfully, no, it can't." She stood and walked out. Behind her, she heard Mitchell's angry voice, Danny's confused question, the scrape of chairs. None of it mattered. She was already running. In the corridor, Jordan opened the message with fingers that felt numb. Rachel's voice, recorded, terrified. "Jordan, oh God, Jordan, if you're hearing this, I'm probably dead. They're not who they say they are. Global Relief International, it's a front. The security contractors, Meridian Solutions, they're taking people, refugees, workers, anyone vulnerable. I've documented 23 disappearances in 4 months. They're selling them, Joe. American contractors are selling human beings." Jordan's vision blurred. She forced herself to keep listening. "I found shipping manifests, banking records, everything. I sent copies to 3 journalists, but I don't know if they'll publish before—" Rachel's voice broke. "There's a man, Victor Castellano, former Delta Force. He runs the Asia-Pacific Division. He knows I know." Yesterday, 2 of his people followed me from the camp. "Joe, I'm so scared. I wanted to call you, but I know you'd try to come, and I can't let you risk your career for—" A sound in the background. Footsteps. Rachel's sharp intake of breath. "They're here. Listen to me. If something happens, look into Meridian Security Solutions. Tell someone who can fight. Tell someone who—" The message cut off. Jordan checked the timestamp. 47 hours ago. She was already dialing Rachel's regular number when Commander Mitchell appeared in the corridor. "Hayes, what the hell? My sister's in trouble." "Your sister's a civilian aid worker in Thailand. That's not our jurisdiction." Jordan's phone rang before she could respond. Unknown international number. She answered on the first ring. "Rachel? Is this Jordan Hayes?" A woman's voice, accent suggesting British education, tone carefully neutral. "Who is this?" "My name is Claire Somerset. I worked with your sister at the refugee camp in Mesot. I'm very sorry, but there's been an accident." The word accident hit Jordan like a physical blow. Her knees buckled. Mitchell grabbed her arm. What kind of accident? A motorcycle crash on the highway outside Bangkok. Rachel was pronounced dead at the scene. The Thai police said, "Bullshit!" Jordan's voice came out flat, cold. When? Yesterday evening, around. Send me everything. Police report, autopsy, photos, witnesses, everything. I don't think I can. Then find someone who can. Because my sister didn't die in a motorcycle accident. She hung up. Mitchell was staring at her. Hayes, I need emergency leave. Based on what? A paranoid voice message and a traffic accident in Thailand? Jordan turned to face him directly. Based on the fact that my sister uncovered a human trafficking operation run by American military contractors, and now she's dead. Sir. Mitchell's expression shifted. You're talking about serious allegations against U.S. citizens abroad. That requires State Department involvement, FBI, maybe CIA, not Navy SEALs going rogue. I'm not going rogue. I'm requesting leave to handle a family emergency. And then what? You fly to Thailand and start your own investigation? That's exactly what I'm going to do. Mitchell studied her for a long moment. You know I have to report this conversation. Report whatever you want. I'm going with or without approval. Hayes, Jordan, think about this. You're one of the best operators we have. Don't throw away your career on some conspiracy theory. Jordan's laugh was bitter. Rachel said the same thing, that she didn't want me to risk my career. Know what? She's dead, and the people who killed her are still out there. So yeah, Commander, I've thought about it. She walked away before he could respond. 4 hours later. Senior Chief Marcus Richardson lived in a small house in Imperial Beach, 15 minutes from the base. Jordan had been there exactly 3 times in 8 years. Once for his retirement party, once when she'd needed advice about a mission that had gone sideways, and once for his nephew's funeral. She knocked on the door at 2200 hours. Lights were on inside. She knew Havoc, that's what everyone called him, rarely slept before midnight. He opened the door in sweatpants and a faded SEAL Team 3 t-shirt. 62 years old, built like he could still run 20 miles with a full pack, eyes that had seen 30 years of combat and learned to read people the way Jordan read wind patterns. Hayes, this about your sister? Jordan's surprise must have shown on her face. Mitchell called me an hour ago, said you were about to do something stupid. Figured you'd end up here eventually. I need your help. No, you need someone to talk you down. Come in. The house smelled like coffee and gun oil. Havoc's living room was sparse. A couch, a TV, walls covered with photographs from deployments spanning 3 decades. Jordan had studied these photos before. She knew which ones showed Havoc with his nephew Derek, the bright kid who'd joined the Army Rangers, deployed to Afghanistan, and come home in a flag-draped casket after a training accident in 2019. Coffee? Havoc asked. I don't need coffee. I need information about Meridian Security Solutions. Havoc stopped mid-step, turned slowly. Say that again? Meridian Security Solutions, private military contractor. I know what they are. His voice had gone hard. How do you know what they are? Jordan pulled out her phone, played Rachel's message, watched Havoc's face cycle through emotions she'd never seen him display: shock, recognition, rage, and finally something that looked like vindication mixed with grief. When the message ended, he sat down heavily on the couch. Derek was investigating them when he died. Jordan felt her heartbeat accelerate. Your nephew? He was assigned to a joint task force in Kabul. Started noticing discrepancies in contractor movements. People who were supposed to be guarding supply convoys, but kept showing up in refugee processing centers. He called me 3 weeks before he died. Said he'd found something big. said American contractors were involved in human trafficking networks. What happened? Official report says training accident. Live fire exercise gone wrong. Friendly fire. Havoc's hands clenched into fists. Derek was a ranger. He didn't die from friendly fire. He died because someone wanted him quiet. You investigated? For 5 years. Got nowhere. Every lead disappeared. Every witness transferred. Every document classified or destroyed. I was retired. No official standing, no resources. All I had was suspicion and grief. He looked up at Jordan. Then Mitchell calls and tells me Rachel Hayes uncovered a Meridian trafficking operation. Your sister, Jordan. Small goddamn world. Jordan sat down beside him. Tell me everything you know. Meridian Solutions was founded in 2014 by former Special Operations personnel. Legitimate at first. Security contracts, training, protective details. But around 2016, something changed. They started operating in conflict zones and refugee hotspots. Southeast Asia, Africa, Eastern Europe. Anywhere there were vulnerable populations and weak law enforcement. Who runs it? At the top? Probably people we'll never identify. Shell corporations, offshore accounts, layers of deniability. But the operational commander in Asia is Victor Castellano. Former Delta Force, exemplary record, connections throughout the Pentagon and State Department. After he retired, he disappeared for 2 years. Resurfaced running Meridian's Asia-Pacific division. Jordan felt cold. Rachel mentioned that name. She would have. Castellano's the face of the operation. Charismatic, respected, still has friends in high places. Perfect cover. Havoc stood, walked to a filing cabinet, pulled out a thick folder. I couldn't prove anything, but I never stopped collecting information. He spread documents across the coffee table, photos of Meridian facilities, organizational charts, personnel files, shipping manifests, financial records. How did you get all this? 5 years of obsession. Called in every favor from my 30-year career. Had friends in intelligence, logistics, finance. Piece by piece, I built a picture. He pointed to a map marked with red circles. 18 facilities across 6 countries. Thailand, Philippines, Cambodia, Nigeria, Somalia, Ukraine. All in regions with refugee crises or conflict. Jordan studied the map. What are they doing at these facilities? Training, officially. Security consulting. But I think they're processing centers. Intake, evaluation, sorting. They identify valuable targets, people no one will miss. Refugees without documentation, migrant workers. Then they move them into trafficking networks. Labor, sex trade, organ harvesting, whatever pays. Jesus Christ. And here's the worst part. Havoc pulled out another document. Senator Patricia Vance, Armed Services Committee. She's been blocking oversight of private military contractors for 8 years. Every investigation into Meridian gets buried at her level. Every congressional inquiry dies in her committee. You think she's involved? I think she's paid. Found financial records suggesting shell companies with ties to Meridian made substantial donations to her campaign and her family's foundation. Can't prove it definitively, but the pattern is there. Jordan processed this. So we have facilities, personnel, financial ties to a U.S. senator, and an operational commander with Delta Force credentials. What don't we have? Evidence that would hold up in court. Everything I've collected is circumstantial. We need documentation of actual trafficking, victim testimony, communications showing intent. We need to catch them in the act. Rachel said she sent evidence to journalists. Did any of them publish? Jordan checked her phone, searched for Rachel's name, Meridian Solutions, anything. Nothing. No. Then either she didn't send it, they didn't receive it, or they're too scared to publish without corroboration. Havoc sat back down. Jordan, I've been chasing this for 5 years with nothing to show for it. Your sister got close enough to scare them, and they killed her. If you go after Meridian, you need to understand what you're walking into. These aren't terrorists in a desert. They're Americans with resources, connections, and political protection. They will destroy you, legally, professionally, and if necessary, physically. Jordan met his eyes. What would Derek want you to do? Havoc's jaw clenched. That's not fair. Yes, it is. Your nephew died investigating this. My sister died investigating this. How many others? How many people are being sold right now while we sit here talking about how dangerous it is? You're not thinking clearly. You're emotional, angry. Damn right I'm angry. But I'm also the best long-range shooter in naval special warfare, a combat veteran with 8 years of experience, and someone who's been underestimated my entire career because of my size and gender. I know how to be invisible. I know how to fight. And I know how to make a shot when everything depends on it. Havoc studied her for a long moment. What are you proposing? We go after them. Together. You have the intelligence. I have the operational capability. We build a case that can't be buried. How? Jordan felt the plan crystallizing in her mind. We get inside, document everything, rescue the victims, and we make sure the whole world is watching when we do it. That's insane. You have a better idea? Havoc looked at the photos on his wall. Derek's young face staring back at him, frozen at 24. No, he said quietly. I really don't. 3 days later. Claire Somerset met Jordan at a cafe in Bangkok. Early 30s, efficient movements, eyes that had seen too much suffering to be shocked by anything anymore. She slid a padded envelope across the table. Rachel gave this to me 2 weeks ago. Said if anything happens to her, I should give it to her sister who was terrifyingly competent and slightly terrifying in general. I'm guessing that's you. Jordan opened the envelope. Inside was a phone, not Rachel's regular phone, but a cheap burner. Also, a note in Rachel's handwriting. Joe, full backup of everything. Passcode is your sniper qualification score. Love you forever. Don't get yourself killed avenging me. R. Jordan's throat tightened. She entered the passcode, 298, her qualification score from sniper school that Rachel had made her explain in detail one Christmas. The phone unlocked to a folder labeled Meridian. Claire watched her. What's on it? Everything, apparently. Jordan scrolled through files, videos, photos, spreadsheets, recorded conversations. How much did Rachel tell you? Enough to know she was scared. Enough to know that the motorcycle accident was bullshit. I saw her the day before she died. She was careful, Joe, almost paranoid. She didn't take risks on motorbikes or anything else. What did the police say? Single vehicle accident. Lost control on a curve. No witnesses. They were very efficient about closing the case. Very efficient about cremating the body before anyone could ask questions. Jordan's hands shook with barely controlled rage. Who identified the body? Meridian's regional manager, Christina Park. She said she happened to be at the hospital when Rachel was brought in, volunteered to handle the identification since Rachel had no family in Thailand. How convenient. That's what I thought. But by the time I raised questions, everything was done. Rachel was cremated, her belongings were shipped to your parents, and the case was closed. Jordan forced herself to breathe, to think tactically rather than emotionally. Did Rachel mention a facility in the Philippines? Claire's eyes widened. Mindanao. She said that's where they take people who cause problems. She was planning to try to get inside somehow, get proof. She never made it. No, but she left you the proof, everything she collected. Claire leaned forward. What are you going to do with it? Jordan looked at Rachel's phone. At months of dangerous investigation condensed into digital files. At her sister's final gift and final request. I'm going to finish what she started. 7 days later, Coronado. Commander Mitchell called Jordan into his office with an expression that suggested he'd had several conversations he didn't enjoy. Sit down, Hayes. She sat. Mitchell pulled out a file. Your leave request was denied by Naval Special Warfare Command. You're being assigned to a training rotation stateside for the next 6 months. No deployments, no overseas travel. They're benching me. They're protecting you from yourself. You've been making inquiries about Meridian Solutions, rattling cages. Important people are unhappy. Jordan felt a cold fury settle in her chest. Important people who are profiting from human trafficking? Important people who have lawyers and political connections. Hayes, I'm telling you this as someone who respects your capabilities. Drop this. Grieve your sister, take the stateside rotation, and let the proper authorities handle it. The proper authorities buried my sister's evidence and killed her. You don't know that. Yes, I do. Jordan stood. And I'm going to prove it. If you go wall, I can't protect you. I'm not asking you to. Mitchell sighed. There's something else. Admiral Sarah Keating wants to see you. She's waiting in conference room B. Jordan's surprise must have shown. Yeah, Mitchell said. That surprised me too. Admiral of Naval Special Warfare Command doesn't usually take personal interest in individual operators. Go. Don't keep her waiting. Admiral Sarah Keating was 58, former SEAL herself before the program opened to women, a legend in the community. Jordan had never spoken to her directly, only seen her at formal ceremonies. She was alone in the conference room, studying a laptop. Lieutenant Commander Hayes, sit. Jordan sat. Keating closed the laptop. I've been reading about your sister. I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you, ma'am. I've also been reading about Meridian Solutions. Interesting organization. Former special operations personnel, lucrative government contracts, excellent political connections. She paused. Also the subject of 17 separate complaints about human rights violations, all of which disappeared before investigation. Jordan's heart rate increased. Ma'am? I've been in this community for 33 years, Hayes. I've seen a lot of good people do bad things when they think no one's watching, and I've seen the system protect them because it's easier than accountability. Keating leaned forward. Your sister found something real, didn't she? Yes, ma'am. And you're planning to go after them. It wasn't a question. Jordan made a calculation. Lie to a superior officer or trust her instincts about why this conversation was happening? Yes, ma'am. Keating smiled. It was a dangerous smile. Good, because I've been waiting for someone with enough motivation and capability to do it right. She opened the laptop again, turned it to face Jordan. This is an eyes-only authorization from the Office of the Secretary of Defense. It creates a compartmentalized operation to investigate private military contractor abuses. You're going undercover. Full operational authority. Whatever resources you need within reason. Jordan stared at the document. I don't understand. Your sister wasn't the first to die investigating Meridian. There have been others. Military personnel, journalists, aid workers. The pattern is clear to anyone willing to look. But proving it requires someone to get inside their operation. Someone they'll underestimate. Someone expendable enough that if things go wrong, the Navy can claim you went rogue. Keating's expression hardened. I'm not going to lie to you, Hayes. This is dangerous, deniable, and if you get caught, we'll burn you to protect the operation. But if you succeed, we can destroy them. Why me? Because you're one of the best operators we have. You have personal motivation that makes you credible. And, frankly, you were going to do this anyway. This way, you have support and a legal framework, instead of ending up in a Thai prison or dead. Jordan processed this. What's the mission? Infiltrate Meridian's facility in Mindanao, document their trafficking operation, identify victims, build an evidence package that can't be buried, and extract everyone when the time comes. Cover identity? We're working on it. Probably a logistics specialist or administrative role, something that gets you inside but doesn't require you to be a combat operator. They can't know what you really are until the evidence is locked down. Timeline? You leave in 12 days. That gives us time to build your cover, establish your legend, and brief you on everything we know about Meridian's operations. Keating stood. This is voluntary, Hayes. You can walk away right now, take the stateside rotation, and grieve your sister in peace. No one would blame you. Jordan thought about Rachel's voice on that recording, about Derek Richardson dying in Afghanistan, about 23 documented disappearances and how many hundreds or thousands that were never documented. I'm in. Then welcome to Operation Phantom Justice. Your handler will be Senior Chief Richardson. Jordan's surprise must have shown again. You think I don't know you went to see him? That he's been investigating Meridian for 5 years? We recruited him 3 days ago. He's been waiting for you to commit. Keating extended her hand. Make this count, Lieutenant Commander. A lot of people are depending on you. Jordan shook her hand. Yes, ma'am. 11 days later. Jordan stood in front of a mirror in a safe house outside San Diego, studying the woman looking back at her. Civilian clothes, khakis, modest blouse, minimal makeup. Hair down instead of the tight bun she normally wore. Glasses with non-prescription lenses. Everything designed to make her look soft, administrative, forgettable. Sarah Mitchell had a complete background, finance degree from a mid-tier university, 4 years of logistics work for defense contractors, divorced, no children, references that would check out because they were real people who'd been briefed to support the cover. Havoc appeared in the doorway. You look nothing like yourself. That's the idea. You remember the legend? Every detail. What about you? You're sure you're ready for this? Havoc touched the photo in his pocket, Derek's graduation from Ranger School. I've been ready for 5 years. The surveillance package? Already shipped to Manila. We'll have 7 devices placed within 24 hours of your insertion. Audio, video, full coverage of the facility's key areas. Jordan turned from the mirror. Havoc, if this goes wrong, it won't. If it does, and I don't make it out, promise me you'll finish it, no matter what. He met her eyes. Same promise you made about Derek? Yeah. Then I promise. But we're both making it out, Hayes. We're going to burn this whole network to the ground and walk away. Jordan's phone buzzed. Admiral Keating. Transport leaves in 2 hours. Good hunting. This was it. No going back. Jordan looked at her reflection one more time. Sarah Mitchell, forgettable logistics coordinator, perfect target for men who had spent years hunting vulnerable women. They had no idea what they were really bringing inside their facility. Jordan smiled. It was the smile of someone who had made a 1,950-meter headshot in a sandstorm. Let's go hunting, she said. The flight from Manila to Mindanao took 97 minutes. Jordan counted every one of them. Sarah Mitchell would have been nervous on a small charter plane. Sarah Mitchell would have gripped the armrest during turbulence, So Jordan did exactly that. Let her knuckles go white. Let the pilot see her discomfort. "First time in Mindanao?" he asked. "First time anywhere this remote." He laughed. "Remote's an understatement. Where Meridian's compound is, you're 40 kilometers from the nearest real town. They like their privacy." Jordan filed that away. Privacy meant isolation. Isolation meant no witnesses. The compound appeared through the window, a sprawling complex that looked more like a military base than a corporate training facility. High walls, guard towers, multiple buildings arranged in defensive positions. Jordan's SEAL training automatically cataloged weaknesses, sightlines, approach vectors. Sarah Mitchell wouldn't notice any of that. They landed on a private airstrip. A black SUV waited, engine running. Christina Park stepped out before Jordan even reached the tarmac. 41 years old, according to Havoc's files. Former CIA analyst. The kind of woman who weaponized competence and used efficiency like a scalpel. She wore tactical pants and a fitted black shirt that somehow looked both professional and dangerous. "Sarah Mitchell?" "That's me." Jordan adjusted her glasses, made her handshake slightly too soft. Christina's grip was firm, assessing. Her eyes did a rapid evaluation, clothing, posture, confidence level. Jordan could almost hear the calculation. Weak, manageable, no threat. "Welcome to Meridian Solutions. I'm Christina Park, Operations Manager. We'll get you processed and settled. Long flight?" "Exhausting." Jordan let a small tremor into her voice. "I've never been this far from home." "You'll adjust. Everyone does." Christina opened the SUV door. "We have 120 contractors on site, 40 support staff. You'll be working with our logistics division, supply chain management, inventory control, shipment coordination." Jordan climbed in. Through the tinted windows, she watched the compound grow closer. Armed guards at the gate, cameras on every corner. This wasn't security. This was a fortress. "Is it always this heavily guarded?" "We operate in an unstable region. Insurgent activity, criminal elements. Security is paramount." Christina's tone suggested the conversation was over. They passed through 3 checkpoints. Each guard studied Jordan's temporary ID, checked a list, radioed ahead. By the time they reached the main administrative building, Jordan had counted 47 cameras and estimated at least 30 armed personnel. Christina led her into a conference room. "Victor Castellano will meet with you shortly. He likes to personally welcome new staff." Then she was gone, door closing with a soft click that felt ominous. Jordan sat alone for exactly 4 minutes before her phone vibrated. Text from Havoc using the encrypted app. "Surveillance package arrived, ready for deployment when you are." She deleted the message as the door opened. Victor Castellano was everything Havoc's files suggested, and worse in person. 48 years old, silver at his temples, the kind of face that suggested leadership and trustworthiness. He wore civilian clothes, but moved like military, carried himself like someone who'd spent 20 years in Delta Force and never really left. "Ms. Mitchell, Victor Castellano." His handshake was confident, warm. "Welcome to our operation." "Thank you for the opportunity." "Your resume is impressive. 4 years with Greystone Defense, logistics experience in Iraq and Afghanistan. That's valuable background." Jordan had rehearsed this. "I was mostly in Kuwait, actually. Rarely left the forward operating bases. Just coordinating shipments." "Still, you understand the contractor world. That's important." He sat across from her, completely relaxed. "We do sensitive work here, Sarah. Training programs for regional security forces, protective details for high-value clients, crisis response consulting. Discretion is essential." "I understand." "Do you? Because some of our shipments contain materials that require special handling. Equipment that our clients prefer to keep confidential." Can you handle that kind of responsibility? Jordan made her expression uncertain. I think so? Castellano smiled. It was a predator's smile disguised as reassurance. You'll do fine. Christina runs a tight ship. Follow her protocols, don't ask unnecessary questions, and you'll find this assignment very rewarding. He stood. Get settled today. Tomorrow, you'll start reviewing our current inventory and shipment schedules. He was at the door when Jordan spoke. Mr. Castellano? I noticed there aren't many women on staff. He turned back. We've had female personnel before. It didn't work out. They struggled with the isolation, the intensity of the work environment. But I have faith you're different. His eyes held hers for a beat too long. You seem resilient. After he left, Jordan sat in silence for 30 seconds, controlling her breathing, forcing down the rage. She'd heard that tone before, from instructors who said women couldn't be SEALs, from commanders who questioned whether she belonged, from every man who'd ever underestimated her because she was 5'4" and 118 pounds. Castellano had no idea what resilient really meant. Her quarters were small but functional. Single bed, desk, locker, bars on the window that were explained as security measures. Jordan tested the lock on her door. It opened from the outside with a master key. Of course it did. She unpacked Sarah Mitchell's belongings, modest clothes, personal items that established the legend, nothing that suggested combat training or tactical capability. Then she found the toiletry bag Havoc had prepared. 7 surveillance devices disguised as everyday objects. An air freshener, a phone charger, a compact mirror, a pen. Items so ordinary they'd be invisible. Her phone buzzed. Christina. Dinner at 1800 hours. Attendance mandatory for new personnel. Jordan checked her watch. 90 minutes. Enough time to place 2 devices if she moved fast. The women's bathroom was down the hall. Jordan walked there like Sarah Mitchell would, uncertain, still learning the layout. The bathroom was empty. She placed the air freshener device on a shelf, activated it with a press that looked like testing the scent. Havoc's voice came through her earpiece, barely a whisper. Signal confirmed. Audio clear. You're alive. Jordan moved to the common area next, a lounge space with worn furniture and a television nobody watched. She plugged in the phone charger near an outlet behind the couch, let it look forgotten. Another activation. 2 down, Havoc said. 5 to go. The dining facility at 1800 hours was controlled chaos. Contractors filled tables, conversations overlapping, the aggressive camaraderie of men who lived in close quarters and measured status through dominance displays. Jordan grabbed a tray and found a corner seat, made herself small, watchable, but not threatening. They noticed her within 3 minutes. Derek Strand approached first, 34 years old, ex-Army Ranger, built like someone who spent 6 hours daily in the gym and wanted everyone to know it. His head was shaved, his neck thick with muscle, his eyes holding the flat affect of someone who'd learned to enjoy violence. You're the new logistics girl. Sarah Mitchell. She didn't offer her hand. Derek Strand, head of security. He sat down without invitation. Word of advice. Stay in your lane here. Administrative staff doesn't mix with operators. Causes problems. I'm just here to do my job. Yeah? What job is that exactly? Christina said you're handling special shipments. That what they're calling it now? Jordan's pulse spiked, but she kept her expression confused. I'm coordinating supply chain logistics, medical equipment, food supplies, training materials. Derek laughed. It was an ugly sound. Sure, training materials. That's good. He leaned closer. You seem smarter than the last admin girl they brought in. Maybe you'll last longer." "What happened to her?" "Couldn't handle the isolation. Requested transfer after 2 months." His smile suggested a different story. "Happens a lot. Women come here thinking they're tough enough, then reality sets in." Another man appeared, James Wu, 29, tech specialist according to Havoc's files. He carried a tablet and had the distracted air of someone more comfortable with computers than people. "Strand, Christina wants you for the evening briefing." Derek stood slowly. "Remember what I said, Sarah. Stay in your lane." After he left, James sat down. "Don't mind Derek. He's aggressive with everyone, not just new people." "That's supposed to be reassuring?" "No, just context." James studied her with unsettling intensity. "You really just do logistics?" "Yes, why?" "Your background check came back weird. Lots of redacted information. Makes people nervous." Jordan's mind raced. The cover identity was supposed to be airtight. "I worked in classified contract zones. That's probably why." "Probably." James didn't sound convinced. "Christina's been checking you out all day. She doesn't trust easy." "Should I be worried?" He shrugged. "Depends on whether you're hiding anything." The implication hung in the air. Jordan made herself look uncomfortable, out of her depth. "I should go, still getting oriented." "Yeah, good idea." James returned to his tablet. "Oh, and Sarah? Don't go wandering at night. Some areas are restricted. Security gets jumpy." Jordan walked away, feeling his eyes on her back. 2100 hours. The compound settled into night routine. Jordan lay in her bed, lights off, listening to conversations through the surveillance devices. Havoc's voice in her earpiece. "Getting good audio from the common area. Standard contractor bullshit mostly. Nothing actionable yet." "What about the cameras?" "Two placed. Need to get the office spaces tomorrow. That's where the real intelligence will be." Jordan heard footsteps in the corridor. Heavy boots. They stopped outside her door. She controlled her breathing, prepared for confrontation. The footsteps moved on. "Jordan?" Havoc's voice went tight. "I'm picking up a conversation from the air freshener unit. Women's bathroom. 2 people talking." Jordan put in her earbuds, listened. A young woman's voice, shaking with tears. "I can't do this anymore. They're moving another group tomorrow night. 18 people. The youngest is 15. An older woman responding. "Keep your voice down. If they hear you." "I don't care if they hear me. We're helping them sell human beings, Maria. That's what we're doing. The equipment shipments are people. The special logistics are trafficking routes." "I know that. You think I don't know that? Then why are we still here?" "Because the last person who tried to leave ended up dead in Bangkok. Remember Rachel? The aid worker who was asking questions? That's what happens when you threaten their operation." Jordan's blood turned to ice. Rachel. They were talking about Rachel. The younger woman was crying harder now. "I want to go home." "Then keep your head down and pray they let you transfer out eventually, or end up like Rachel." The conversation ended, bathroom door opening and closing. Jordan's hands were shaking. She forced them still. "Did you hear that?" Havoc's voice was raw. "Yeah." Jordan's throat was tight. "They know about Rachel. These women know what's happening, and they're trapped here." "We need to identify them. Get them out." "Not yet. We move too fast and Castellano burns everything." Jordan's mind was racing through tactical options. "I need to make contact, carefully." "How?" "Give me 12 hours. I'll figure it out." She lay in the dark, listening to the compound's night sounds, thinking about Rachel, about those 2 terrified women, about 18 people who would be moved tomorrow night. The mission timeline had just accelerated. Morning came too fast. Jordan, dressed in Sarah Mitchell's clothes, hated how vulnerable they made her feel. No armor, no weapons, no tactical advantage. Just soft fabric and the illusion of harmlessness. Christina found her at breakfast. "Castellana wants you to observe today's shipment preparation. See how we handle special cargo." "What kind of cargo?" "The kind that requires careful documentation." Christina's smile was glacier cold. "You'll see." They walked to a warehouse on the compound's eastern edge. Industrial space, loading docks, 2 shipping containers already staged for transport. A dozen workers moved around them, checking seals, reviewing manifests. "These containers go to our facility in Cambodia," Christina explained. "Medical supplies, officially. We maintain contracts with several regional hospitals." Jordan watched a forklift move one container. Something about the way it settled, too light, too carefully balanced, triggered her instincts. "Can I see the manifests?" Christina handed her a tablet. Jordan scrolled through line items. Bandages, 1V equipment, surgical supplies, all legitimate looking, all probably fake. "How often do these shipments go out?" "Weekly, sometimes twice weekly depending on client needs." Christina checked her watch. "Come with me, there's something else you should see." They descended stairs Jordan hadn't known existed, underground level, concrete corridors, fluorescent lighting that made everything look corpse pale. "This is our secure storage area," Christina said, "where we keep high-value inventory before transport." She opened a reinforced door. The room beyond held 32 people. Jordan's training kept her expression neutral even as horror flooded her system. They sat on concrete floors, backs against walls, eyes hollow with despair. Different ages, different nationalities. A teenage girl, an old man, a woman holding a child who couldn't be more than 6. "Who are they?" Jordan heard herself ask. "Refugees, undocumented workers, people with nowhere else to go." Christina's tone was matter-of-fact. "We provide them with transportation to areas where they can find work. It's actually quite humanitarian when you think about it." "This doesn't look humanitarian." "They're being processed. Medical screening, documentation verification, for their own safety." Christina met Jordan's eyes directly. "You understand what you're seeing here, Sarah. These people are our inventory, our special shipments, and your job is to coordinate their movement with the same efficiency you'd coordinate any other logistical operation." Jordan's mind split into 2 tracks, Sarah Mitchell's horrified confusion and Lieutenant Commander Hayes's tactical assessment. 32 victims visible. The women's bathroom conversation mentioned 18 being moved tonight. Where were the others? "I didn't sign up for this," she said carefully. "No one does. But here's the reality. Meridian pays extremely well. Your salary is triple what you'd make elsewhere, and what we're doing, while technically outside certain regulatory frameworks, serves a market need. These people would be exploited anyway. We're simply facilitating their movement more efficiently." "That's human trafficking." Christina's expression hardened. "That's a perspective. Here's another perspective. You have student loans, a failed marriage, no real career prospects. This job pays enough to clear your debts in 2 years. Or you can choose to be morally superior and end up like the last woman who decided she couldn't handle the work." Jordan's pulse spiked. "What happens to her?" "Motorcycle accident. Very tragic. Bangkok traffic is dangerous." Christina smiled. "The point is, Sarah, you have a choice. Be practical or be principled. One keeps you alive and solvent. The other ends badly." They were threatening her. 72 hours into the assignment, and they were already threatening her. I need time to think, Jordan said. You have until tonight. Castellano wants your answer by 2100 hours. Christina turned toward the door. Oh, and Sarah? Don't do anything stupid like trying to contact anyone outside the compound. We monitor all communications. It would be very unfortunate if you forced us to question your loyalty. She left Jordan standing in that underground room surrounded by terrified people who'd been reduced to inventory. A young woman approached. 19, maybe 20, Vietnamese features, eyes that still held a spark of defiance despite everything. You're new, she whispered in accented English. Jordan glanced at the security camera in the corner. I shouldn't talk to you. Everyone says that. Then they become like them. The woman moved closer. My name is Mai Chen. I've been here 7 months. I know things. Escape routes, guard schedules. Where they keep the real documentation. Why are you telling me this? Because you're different. You looked at us like we're human. The others stopped doing that a long time ago. Mai's voice dropped even lower. There's a phone, hidden in the ventilation shaft in the north storage room. It still works, if you're someone who might use it. Jordan's heart hammered. How do you know I won't report you? I don't. But I've been here 7 months. Either I take risks, or I disappear like the others. Mai's eyes held hers. Are you someone who takes risks? Before Jordan could answer, a guard shouted, No fraternizing! Get back against the wall! Mai retreated quickly. Jordan walked toward the exit on shaking legs. In the corridor, she pulled out her phone, texted Havoc. They know. About Rachel. About everything. And they're moving people tonight. Need backup plan now. His response came instantly. Extraction team on standby. Say the word. Jordan thought about 32 people in that room. About Mai Chen, who'd been there 7 months. About Rachel, who'd tried to expose this and died. She deleted the texts and typed back, Negative extraction. I'm going deeper. Whatever happens, don't pull me out until we have everything. She didn't wait for his response. Tonight, at 2100 hours, she'd give Castellano her answer. But first, she had 5 surveillance devices to place, a hidden phone to find, and 18 people to somehow save from being shipped like cargo. The mission had just become a race against time, and Jordan was running out of both. Jordan had 4 hours before Castellano wanted his answer, and 6 surveillance devices still to place. The math didn't work, unless she stopped being careful. She found the north storage room at 1400 hours. A guard stood outside, scrolling through his phone, bored. Jordan approached with Sarah Mitchell's uncertain walk. I'm looking for the inventory supervisor. Christina sent me to verify equipment counts. The guard barely looked up. Wrong building. Inventory's in B wing. Oh, sorry. Still learning the layout. He waved her away dismissively. Jordan walked 20 paces, turned a corner, and waited. Through the surveillance feed in her earpiece, she heard Havoc's voice. Guards moving. Shift change in 90 seconds. Jordan counted. At 87 seconds, the guard's radio crackled with a call to the main gate. He walked away, still talking. She was inside the storage room in 4 seconds flat. The ventilation shaft was exactly where Mai said it would be. Jordan climbed onto a stack of crates, removed the grate, reached inside. Her fingers found plastic. A burner phone wrapped in a waterproof bag. She pulled it out, powered it on. 3% battery. 1 saved contact labeled Help. Jordan's hands shook as she opened the message history. The last text was from Rachel, sent 2 days before she died. This phone is for emergencies. If you're reading this, you're in danger. The contact is Lieutenant Felix Reyes, Philippine National Police. He's trustworthy. Tell him everything. And please, whoever you are, run. These people kill without hesitation. R. Jordan's vision blurred. Rachel had left this here for the next person who needed it, had tried to save someone she'd never meet. She typed fast. Lieutenant Reyes, my name is Jordan Hayes, U.S. Navy, Rachel Hayes' sister. I'm inside Meridian Compound. They're trafficking victims, moving 18 tonight. Need immediate coordination with U.S. forces. We'll send coordinates. She hit send, powered down the phone, returned it to the shaft. The whole operation took 93 seconds. The guard's footsteps echoed in the corridor as Jordan slipped out the back entrance. Havoc's voice crackled. That was insane. Necessary. Jordan's pulse hammered. Did you track the message? Sent successfully. But Jordan, if they're monitoring communications like Christina said, the phone's been hidden 7 months. If they knew about it, I would be dead. Jordan forced confidence into her voice she didn't entirely feel. What about the other devices? You need Castellano's office, the communications center, and the vehicle depot. 3 high-risk placements in 4 hours. Jordan checked her watch. 1,600 hours. Then I better move fast. She found Maria Gonzalez at 16:30, the older woman from the bathroom conversation. 52 years old, administrative assistant for 6 years according to the staff roster Jordan had memorized. She was alone in the document processing room, filing shipment records. Jordan closed the door behind her. Maria spun around, fear flashing across her face before settling into careful neutrality. Can I help you? I heard you, in the bathroom last night, talking about Rachel. All color drained from Maria's face. I don't know what you're talking about. Rachel Hayes, aid worker, died in Bangkok 2 months ago. You said she asked too many questions. Jordan stepped closer. I need to know everything. You need to leave, now, before someone sees us talking. I'm not leaving until you tell me what happened to her. Maria's composure cracked. She came here pretending to coordinate with Global Relief International, but she was investigating, asking questions about shipment schedules, missing refugees, financial discrepancies. Christina figured it out within 3 days. What did they do to her? Castellano called her into his office, told her she was making dangerous accusations, threatened her. Rachel left the compound that night, drove straight to Bangkok, tried to contact journalists. Maria's voice broke. Derek Strand followed her, made it look like an accident on the highway. I saw the order in Christina's email logs before she deleted them. Jordan's rage was so intense she had to concentrate on breathing. You saw the order. You knew they murdered her, and you said nothing. I have a daughter in Manila. They made it very clear what happens to people who talk. I'm not brave like Rachel was. I'm just trying to survive long enough to... Maria stopped, eyes widening at something behind Jordan. Jordan turned. Christina Park stood in the doorway. The silence stretched for 3 seconds that felt like hours. Christina's expression was unreadable, but her hand had moved to her radio. Sarah, Maria, interesting conversation. Jordan's mind raced through scenarios. Fight Christina here, blow the entire operation, run and get shot in the corridor, or talk her way out and hope Sarah Mitchell's cover held. I was asking about Rachel Hayes, Jordan said, letting her voice shake. The woman who died. Someone mentioned her at dinner and I wanted to know if it was safe here. If I was safe. Christina studied her with eyes like a viper assessing prey. And what did Maria tell you? That it was a traffic accident. That Bangkok roads are dangerous. That I should be careful if I ever go there. Is that what you said, Maria? Maria nodded, unable to speak. Christina stepped fully into the room, closed the door. Here's what I think happened. I think Sarah here is smarter than she looks. I think she's been asking questions, gathering information, and I think she's about to make a very stupid decision about what to do with that information. Jordan said nothing. Sometimes silence was the best defense. So let me be completely clear, Christina continued. Rachel Hayes was an idealistic aid worker who didn't understand how the world really works. She thought exposing Meridian would make her a hero. Instead, she died alone on a highway with no witnesses and a blood alcohol level that suggested impairment. Her body was cremated before anyone could ask uncomfortable questions. Her investigation died with her. You killed her. I facilitated necessary damage control. There's a difference. Christina's smile was cold. And now you're standing in the same position she was, asking the same questions, making the same mistakes. So I'm giving you the same choice I gave her. Walk away, or end up exactly where she did. Jordan felt her SEAL training screaming at her to move, to neutralize the threat, to end Christina right here. But Sarah Mitchell wouldn't do that. Sarah Mitchell would be terrified. I just want to do my job, Jordan whispered. No, you want to play hero. I can see it in your eyes. The same look Rachel had. Christina pulled out her phone. Fortunately, Castellano anticipated this. He's been monitoring you since you arrived. Did you really think we'd bring someone into this operation without full surveillance? Jordan's blood ran cold. What are you talking about? Christina turned her phone screen. Security footage. Jordan in the north storage room, reaching into the ventilation shaft, pulling out the hidden phone. We've known about that phone for 6 months. Left it there specifically to identify security threats. And congratulations, Sarah Mitchell, or whoever you really are. You just identified yourself. The room seemed to tilt. Jordan's mind raced. They've been watching, testing. The phone was bait. Mine might have been unknowing bait too. Everything since she'd arrived might have been choreographed. I was just curious, Jordan tried. I found a phone and wanted to see. Stop. I'm not Christina anymore, and you're not Sarah. She raised her radio. Strand, Park. I have a situation in document processing. Subject is confirmed hostile. Detain immediately. Jordan had 2 seconds to decide. Maintain cover and hope for extraction, or fight and save the 18 victims being moved tonight. She chose Rachel. Her hand shot out, caught Christina's wrist, twisted the radio free. Christina's knee came up fast, but Jordan was faster, blocked it, drove an elbow into Christina's solar plexus. The older woman folded with a gasping wheeze. Maria screamed. I'm sorry, Jordan said, and she genuinely was. Then she struck Christina in the temple with a controlled blow that sent her crumpling unconscious. Maria backed against the wall, hyperventilating. Listen to me, Jordan said urgently. My name is Lieutenant Commander Jordan Hayes. I'm U.S. Navy. I came here to expose Meridian and rescue the victims. In about 30 seconds, this building is going to be full of armed contractors looking for me. Are you going to help them or help me? Maria stared at Christina's unconscious form. Oh, God. Oh, God, they're going to kill us both. Not if we move fast. Where's your daughter? St. Sebastian School. Manila. Why? Jordan pulled out her phone, sent a rapid text to Havoc. I'm extracting Christina's files, and I need you to get your daughter to safety, right now. I can't just... Maria, they killed Rachel. They'll kill you the second you're not useful. Your only chance is to help me burn this place down. Jordan grabbed Christina's access card. Do you want to save your daughter, or wait here for Strand? That decided it. Maria's fear transformed into desperate determination. Christina's office, 3rd floor. Her computer has access to everything. Financial records, victim manifests, communications with buyers. But it's encrypted. How encrypted? 16-digit password that changes daily. I've never been able to. Jordan was already stripping Christina's unconscious body, searching for anything useful. She found a small notebook in the inside pocket, opened it. Page after page of alphanumeric codes with dates. She writes them down, Jordan said. She's meticulous, and she doesn't trust digital systems completely. Heavy boots thundered in the hallway outside. Back door, Maria hissed, pointing. They ran. Behind them, Derek Strand's voice boomed. Building lockdown. Hostile in document processing. All personnel converge. Jordan and Maria burst into a service corridor. Alarms started wailing. Red emergency lights strobed. The compound was mobilizing. Havoc's voice exploded in Jordan's earpiece. What the hell is happening? Every camera just went active. Cover's blown. Going for Christina's files before extraction. Jordan, there are 80 contractors between you and the 3rd floor. Pull back to the detention level. Fortify position. We'll extract everyone at once. Negative. We get those files or this whole operation dies with me. Jordan pulled Maria into a stairwell. How many people know the detention level access codes? Just Christina, Castellano, and Strand. Then that's where we're heading after the office. Can you get the victims out if I get you access? Maria's eyes widened. There are 32 people down there. We can't. Can you or can't you? The East Vehicle Depot. If we can get them to trucks, there's a service road that bypasses the main gate. But we'd need keys, authorization, a distraction big enough that... An explosion rocked the building. Jordan grabbed the wall for balance. What the hell was that? Havoc's voice, tight with stress. That was me. Shaped charge on the generator. You wanted a distraction? Half the compound just went dark. Emergency lighting flickered on. Shouts echoed from every direction. You're insane, Jordan said. Learn from the best. You've got maybe 4 minutes before they realize it's not an insurgent attack. Move. Jordan and Maria sprinted up the stairs. 3rd floor was chaos. Contractors rushing to defensive positions, nobody paying attention to 2 women in civilian clothes. They reached Christina's office. Jordan used the access card. The door unlocked. The office was pristine. Computer on the desk, filing cabinets against the walls, a wall safe behind a painting. Jordan sat down, powered up the computer, pulled out Christina's notebook. Today's date. Code 7K9M-PL42-8NV3-QR16. She entered it. Access granted. Maria, I need a flash drive, now. Maria pulled open drawers, found one, handed it over with shaking hands. Jordan plugged it in, started copying files. Financial records, buyer communications, victim manifests, shipping schedules, everything. Download progress, 11%. Boots pounded in the corridor outside, 23%. They're coming, Maria whispered. 37%. The door handle rattled. Derek Strand's voice. Christina, you in there? Jordan kept her hand steady on the mouse. 49%. I'm coming in, Strand announced. 58%. The door burst open. Derek Strand filled the doorway, pistol drawn. Behind him, 4 more contractors, all armed. 71%. Step away from the computer, Strand ordered. Jordan didn't move. Her eyes stayed locked on the screen. 84%. I said step away. 92%. Strand crossed the room in 3 strides, grabbed Jordan's shoulder. Her hand shot up, caught his wrist, twisted with leverage perfected over 8 years of close-quarters combat training. His gun clattered to the floor. She drove her palm into his nose, felt cartilage crunch, swept his legs. He went down hard. 100%. Download complete. Jordan ripped the flash drive free, shoved it in her pocket. The 4 contractors in the doorway raised their weapons. She grabbed Strand's fallen pistol, rolled behind the desk. Bullets punched through wood and computer screen. Maria screamed, dove for cover. Jordan came up firing. Not to kill, just to suppress. 3 shots. The contractors scattered into the hallway. "Maria, we're leaving. Now!" They ran. Jordan fired twice more behind them, keeping the contractors pinned. Reached the stairwell, started descending. Strand's voice echoed from above, enraged and bloody. "Lock down all exits! Nobody leaves the compound! I want that bitch alive!" Jordan and Maria hit the ground floor at full speed. The detention level entrance was 50 meters across an open courtyard. Contractors were everywhere now, organized, searching methodically. "We'll never make it across," Maria gasped. Jordan pulled the flash drive from her pocket. "Then we split up. You take this. Get to the vehicle depot. Find any way out of the compound. There's a Lieutenant Reyes, Philippine National Police. Give him the drive and tell him everything." "What about you?" "I'm getting those 32 people out, one way or another." "That's suicide!" "Maybe." Jordan pressed the drive into Maria's hand. "But it's what Rachel would have done. And I'm done letting her death mean nothing." Maria's eyes filled with tears. Then she nodded, pocketed the drive, and ran toward the depot. Jordan turned toward the detention level entrance, 20 contractors between her and the door. No plan, no backup, just training, rage, and a promise to her dead sister. She thought about Rachel's voice on that recording, about Mai Chen, who'd been imprisoned for 7 months, about 18 people who'd be shipped like cargo if Jordan failed. Havoc's voice came through her earpiece one more time. "Jordan, I'm tracking your vitals. Your heart rate is 160. You're about to do something incredibly stupid, aren't you?" "Yep." "SEAL Team 6 is 20 minutes out. Just hold position and—" "20 minutes? Those people are gone. I'm going now." "Then God help you, kid. I'll keep the extraction birds warm." Jordan checked the pistol. 11 rounds. Not nearly enough. She stepped into the courtyard, and every contractor turned to face her. Jordan raised her hands slowly, the pistol dangling from one finger by the trigger guard. 11 rounds against 20 men. The math was simple and brutal. "I'm unarmed," she called out. A lie, but they needed to believe it. "I just want to talk to Castellano." Derek Strand pushed through the contractors, his face a mask of blood from his broken nose. "You're done talking. You're done breathing in about 30 seconds. Then you'll never find the evidence. Christina's files. I sent them to 3 journalists, the Philippine National Police and U.S. Naval Intelligence. They publish in 1 hour unless I send a cancellation code." Strand hesitated. Jordan saw the calculation in his eyes. Kill her and risk exposure, or keep her alive long enough to verify the threat. "You're bluffing," he said. "Am I? Check Christina's computer. Check what I downloaded. Then decide if you want to bet your entire operation on me bluffing." A radio crackled. James Wu's voice. "Strand, the computer's wiped. She copied something. I can't tell what or where it went." Strand's expression darkened. "Bring her to Castellano. Alive. For now." 4 contractors moved forward. Jordan let them take the pistol, let them grip her arms hard enough to bruise. She needed to be inside that building. Once she was, the math changed. They dragged her toward the administrative building. Jordan counted steps, memorized faces, tracked weapon positions. Her SEAL training ran tactical assessments faster than conscious thought. Castellano waited in his office. He'd changed into tactical gear, body armor, sidearm, radio headset. The friendly corporate executive was gone. This was the Delta Force operator who'd spent 20 years in the darkest operations. "Lieutenant Commander Jordan Hayes," he said without preamble. "Navy SEAL, sister of Rachel Hayes. I should have seen it earlier, the way you moved, the way you assessed everything." "But your cover was excellent, I'll give you that." Jordan said nothing. "Your sister was brave too. Foolish, but brave. She actually thought exposing us would matter, that people would care about refugees and migrant workers disappearing." Castellano smiled. "Nobody cares, Commander. We've been doing this for 8 years. Know how many investigations we've survived? 14. Every single one buried by people more powerful than you can imagine." "Senator Vance." His smile widened. "Among others. Did you really think one SEAL and an old man with a vendetta could take down a network that reaches into the Pentagon, State Department, and congressional oversight committees?" "I think I already did. Those files are broadcasting to the world in—" Jordan checked her watch. 47 minutes. Your network dies tonight." Castellano's composure finally cracked. "Where's the flash drive?" "Safe. Beyond your reach." He crossed the room, grabbed Jordan's jaw, forced her to meet his eyes. "You're going to tell me where it is, and you're going to send that cancellation code, because if you don't, the 32 people in detention die. All of them, starting with the little 6-year-old girl." Jordan's rage was so intense she could taste copper, but she kept her voice level. "You kill them, you lose your inventory. Your buyers won't pay for corpses." "I'll take the financial loss to protect the operation. Those people are expendable. You're expendable. The only question is how many people die before you cooperate." Jordan heard footsteps. Derek Strand entered, dragging Mai Chen by her hair. The young woman's face was bruised, blood trickling from her split lip. "Found her trying to help the new admin lady escape through the vehicle depot," Strand said. Jordan's heart sank. Maria had been caught. "Interesting," Castellano said. "So we have a SEAL operative, a trafficking victim turned informant, and an admin assistant who grew a conscience, all in one day." "That's almost impressive." He pulled his sidearm, pressed it to Mai's temple. "Last chance, Commander. The flash drive and the cancellation code, or I execute her right now." Mai's eyes found Jordan's. The young woman was terrified, but something else, too. Defiant. She mouthed 2 words. "Don't tell." Jordan's mind raced. Castellano wouldn't kill his inventory unless he had no choice. But he would if he believed his entire operation was about to be exposed. She needed leverage. Needed something that made her more valuable alive. "The files aren't set to auto-publish," Jordan said. "They're in a dead drop. If I don't retrieve them personally within 3 hours, they go to every news agency in Southeast Asia. Kill me, and you guarantee exposure. Keep me alive, and maybe we can negotiate." Castellano studied her for a long moment. Then he lowered the gun from Mai's head. "Maybe. Or maybe I extract the location through interrogation, retrieve the files myself, and kill everyone involved." "You could try, but I'm SEAL trained in resistance to interrogation. You'll run out of time before I break." "Everyone breaks eventually." "Not in 3 hours." The standoff held. Jordan could see Castellano calculating odds, weighing options. Finally, he spoke into his radio. "Wu, status on the scheduled shipment?" James Wu's voice crackled back. "Containers are loaded, 18 subjects ready for transport. Buyer's vessel departs in 90 minutes. Delay it,
Tell them we have a security situation. Sir, the buyer won't be happy about I don't care. Delay it. Castellano looked at Jordan. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to sit here while my people search every inch of this compound for that flash drive. When they find it, and they will, I'm going to personally ensure you watch every single person you tried to save die before I kill you.
Understood? Jordan smiled. It was the smile she'd given through her scope before a 1,950-meter shot. You're not going to find it, because it's not in the compound. Castellano's radio exploded with panicked voices.
Sir, we have vehicles approaching. Multiple trucks on the access road. Armed personnel. They're not ours. Contact! Contact! We're under attack! Castellano's face went pale. He grabbed Jordan, shoved the pistol under her chin. What did you do? I didn't do anything. But my handler did. Jordan's voice was ice. You really thought I came here alone? That the U.S. Navy sent one person undercover into a trafficking operation without backup? Gunfire erupted outside. Close, getting closer. Havoc's voice came through her earpiece, loud enough that Castellano heard it too. Jordan, SEAL Team 6 is breaching the compound. Philippine National Police have the perimeter. You've got friendlies incoming in 30 seconds. Get down and stay down.
Castellano's grip tightened. Call them off, or I kill you right now. Then you die 30 seconds later when they breach this room. Your choice. Derek Strand burst in, breathing hard. We're being overrun. At least 40 operators, all U.S. military. They're cutting through our positions like... The window exploded inward. Flashbang grenade. Jordan closed her eyes, turned away. The detonation was deafening, even with preparation. Castellano's grip loosened. Jordan drove her elbow into his solar plexus, twisted free, swept his legs. He went down. She grabbed his pistol as SEAL Team operators repelled through the shattered window. Friendly! Friendly! Jordan shouted. Detention level has 32 hostages. Vehicle depot has 18 more in containers. A SEAL Team leader, face obscured by tactical gear, pointed at Castellano. Secure him. Where's Strand? Derek Strand had disappeared during the chaos. Jordan's tactical instincts screamed warning. He's heading for the detention level. He'll kill the hostages if he's trapped. The team leader didn't hesitate. Rodriguez, Chen, with her. Clear the detention level. Everyone else, secure this building. Rules of engagement are weapons hot. Anyone resisting gets put down. Jordan ran. 2 SEAL operators flanked her, moving with the fluid efficiency of elite combat units. They hit the stairwell at full speed. Mai's voice from behind. Wait! I know the access codes. I know where they keep the keys. Jordan spun. Mai had broken free from the guards during the assault, was running toward them with desperate determination. Stay here. It's not safe. Those are my friends down there. People I've lived with for 7 months. I'm not hiding while they're in danger. There wasn't time to argue. Jordan grabbed Mai's hand. Then stay behind me and do exactly what I say. They descended. The detention level door was reinforced steel with electronic locks. Mai entered a 6-digit code with shaking fingers. Access denied. Try again, Jordan urged. Mai tried. Same result. He changed the codes, Mai whispered. Strand changed them. He's inside with them. Jordan stepped back, assessed the door. Reinforced, but hinges were exposed. She turned to the SEAL operators. Breaching charge, now! One of them planted explosives with practiced speed. Clear! They retreated 20 paces. The charge detonated. The door blew inward with a shriek of tortured metal. Jordan was through before the smoke cleared. The detention area was chaos. 32 people pressed against the far wall, terrified. Derek Strand stood in front of them with a detonator in his hand.
Behind him, Jordan could see blocks of C4 wired to the support columns. "Come any closer, and I blow this entire level," Strand said. His voice was steady, despite the blood still streaming from his broken nose. "Everyone dies, including you." Jordan stopped.
The SEAL operators fanned out, weapons trained, but nobody had a clean shot. "You're trapped, Strand. Compound's taken. Your whole operation is over. Blowing the level doesn't change that." "No, but it erases 32 witnesses. That changes everything." His thumb hovered over the detonator. "Castellano might cut a deal. Reduced sentence, witness protection. But only if there's no one left to testify. You understand?" "I understand you're a coward who hurts defenseless people and calls it work." Strand's laugh was bitter. "Coward. I served 8 years as a ranger. Fought in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. Did things for this country that would give you nightmares. And you know what I got for it? PTSD. A medical discharge. And a pension that barely covers rent. Meridian offered me real money. Purpose. So yeah, I made a choice." "You chose to sell human beings." "I chose to survive in a world that doesn't give a damn about operators once they're used up." "Don't lecture me about morality, Commander. You're just another tool the government will throw away when you're broken." Jordan's mind raced through options. The detonator was remote trigger, probably requiring sustained pressure. If Strand released it, they had maybe 2 seconds before detonation. Not enough time to reach him. Not enough time to evacuate. Mai moved beside Jordan, quiet as a ghost. "Strand," Jordan said, drawing his attention. "You're right. The system failed you. It fails a lot of people. But killing these people doesn't fix that. It just makes you a murderer." "I'm already a murderer. 27 kills in active service. What's 32 more?" "Those were combatants. These are children, families, people whose only crime was being vulnerable." Strand's expression flickered, something that might have been conscience surfacing through years of rationalization. Mai spoke. Her voice was soft but carried. "Do you know my name?" Strand's eyes shifted to her. "What?" "My name. Do you know it? You've guarded me for 7 months. Do you know my name?" Strand said nothing. "It's Mai Chen. I'm 19. I was a university student in Hanoi before traffickers took me. I have a mother who thinks I'm dead, a little brother who's 11. I had plans, dreams." Tears streamed down her face, but her voice stayed steady. "Do you know their names? The 32 people behind you? Their stories? Or are we just inventory to you?" "Shut up." "My friend An is 17. She was promised work in a restaurant. Lynn is 24, has a baby daughter she hasn't seen in 6 months. Carlos is 58, fled cartel violence in Honduras. We're not numbers, Strand. We're people." "I said, shut up." "Then learn our names before you kill us. Look at us. See what you're really doing." Strand's hand shook. The detonator trembled. Jordan saw the opening. She moved. 3 steps, that's all she needed. 3 steps and a leap that sent her airborne. Her hand caught Strand's wrist as her momentum drove him backward. They hit the ground together. The detonator flew from his grip. Jordan's training took over. Elbow to Strand's throat, palm strike to disable his dominant hand, knee to his solar plexus. He fought back with ranger training, brutal and efficient. His headbutt caught Jordan's cheek, sent stars across her vision. His hand found her throat, squeezed. Jordan couldn't breathe. The world started to gray. She heard shouting, the SEAL operators, Mai screaming, but it all seemed distant. Rachel's voice in her memory. "You're the strongest person I know, Joe. Don't ever forget that. Jordan's hand found the detonator on the floor. Strand saw it too, tried to reach it. She got there first, pressed it against his throat. Move and I trigger it. We both die. Strand froze. Or, Jordan gasped, you let go, surrender, and maybe live long enough to actually face what you've done. For a moment, Strand's grip tightened. Jordan prepared to press the trigger, to die taking him with her if that's what justice required. Then his hands released. He slumped back, all the fight draining out of him. SEAL operators swarmed him, had him restrained in seconds. Jordan rolled away, coughing, throat burning. Mai knelt beside her. You saved us. You actually saved us. Jordan couldn't speak yet, just nodded. The SEAL team leader's voice cut through. Detention level secure, 32 civilians safe. We need medical and transport for civilian evac. Havoc's voice in Jordan's earpiece. Kid, you okay? Jordan finally found her voice. Yeah. The 18 in the containers? Philippine National Police intercepted the transport. All 18 recovered alive. 0 casualties. Jordan closed her eyes. 50 people. They'd saved 50 people. Castellano? In custody, so is James Wu. Christina Park regained consciousness and immediately demanded her lawyer. Maria Gonzalez is safe. She made it to Lieutenant Reyes with the flash drive. He's already coordinating with U.S. authorities. Jordan stood on shaking legs, looked at the 32 people who'd been imprisoned, who were now free. Mai was hugging an older woman, both crying. A man held his 6-year-old daughter like he'd never let go. The SEAL team leader approached, removed his helmet. 40-something, hard eyes that had seen everything. Lieutenant Commander Hayes, Admiral Keating sends her regards. Said to tell you, mission accomplished. Not yet, Jordan said. Castellano mentioned Senator Vance, and there's a second facility, somewhere they take people who cause problems. That's where... Her voice caught. That's where they killed my sister. The team leader's expression hardened. Then we're not done. Where is it? I don't know, but Castellano does, and he's going to tell us. They found Castellano in restraints, surrounded by armed operators. He looked smaller now, defeated. The charismatic leader was gone, just a man facing the end of everything. Jordan knelt in front of him. The second facility, where Rachel died. Where is it? I want immunity, full protection, witness protection program. You're not getting anything until you tell me where she died. Castellano met her eyes. Something that might have been regret flickered across his face. 40 kilometers northwest, abandoned mining facility. We used it for problem cases, people who knew too much, who threatened exposure. How many people have died there? Castellano was silent. Jordan leaned closer. How many? 11. Over 4 years. All made to look like accidents. Traffic incidents, drownings, disappearances. Rachel was the last. I gave the order to Derek Strand. He followed her to Bangkok, ran her off the road. It was quick. She didn't suffer. Jordan's hands clenched into fists. Every instinct screamed to hurt him, to make him feel a fraction of the pain he'd caused. But that wasn't justice. That was revenge. You're going to testify, she said quietly, about the facility, about Vance, about every person you killed and every victim you sold. You're going to tell the truth until there's nothing left to hide. And then you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison knowing that everything you built is destroyed. Castellano's composure finally shattered. I served this country for 20 years. I earned the right to... You earned nothing. Rachel earned justice.
Those 50 people you imprisoned earned freedom. You? You earned exactly what you're getting. Jordan stood, turned to the SEAL team leader. Coordinate with Philippine authorities. I want that second facility raided tonight. Any evidence inside gets preserved. Any personnel on site gets arrested. Already in motion. Lieutenant Reyes is leading the raid personally.
And Vance? FBI is executing a warrant on our office as we speak. The files Maria delivered included financial records proving 8 years of payments from Meridian. She'll be in custody before morning. Jordan walked outside. Dawn was breaking over the compound. 50 freed victims were being loaded into medical transports. Philippine National Police processed the arrested Meridian contractors. U.S. forces secured evidence. The entire operation was being methodically dismantled. Havoc found her on the perimeter. He looked exhausted, elated, and grief-stricken all at once. "We did it," he said. "Derek can rest now." "And Rachel," Jordan's voice broke. "She can rest knowing they didn't win." They stood together watching the sunrise. Behind them, the compound that had been a nightmare for so many was becoming a crime scene. Soon, it would be nothing but evidence. Then, nothing at all. Mai approached hesitantly. "Commander Hayes, I wanted to thank you for everything, for not giving up even when—" She couldn't finish. Jordan embraced her. "You were brave in there. Talking to Strand? That took courage I'm not sure I could have managed. I learned from Rachel. She talked to me once when I first arrived. Said the only way to survive was to hold on to our humanity. To never forget we're people, not inventory." May wiped her eyes. "She's the one who told me about the hidden phone, about Lieutenant Reyes. She was trying to save us even then." Jordan felt tears on her own face. "She saved you. All of you. This was her investigation, her evidence, her courage. I just finished what she started." A helicopter appeared on the horizon. Admiral Keating's personal transport. "Time to face the bureaucracy," Havoc said. "Depositions, debriefings, congressional testimony. This is going to get ugly before it gets better. Let it get ugly, as long as the truth comes out." Jordan looked at the compound one more time, thought about Rachel, about Derek, about the 11 people who'd died at that second facility, and the hundreds or thousands who'd been trafficked before they stopped it. The fight wasn't over. There would be trials, appeals, political maneuvering. But for the first time in 2 months, Jordan felt something other than rage and grief. She felt hope. And somewhere, she thought, Rachel was finally at peace. Admiral Keating met Jordan on the tarmac with an expression that suggested the bureaucratic nightmare had already begun. Behind her stood 3 people in civilian suits, Department of Justice, State Department, and someone Jordan didn't recognize but whose posture screamed CIA. "Lieutenant Commander, we need to talk before you give any official statements." Jordan's exhaustion hit her all at once. She'd been operating on adrenaline for 18 hours. Now that the immediate threat was over, her body was demanding payment. "How bad is it?" "Bad. Vance is already mobilizing her legal team. She's claiming the financial records are fabricated, that she was investigating Meridian independently, that she had no knowledge of trafficking operations." Keating's jaw tightened. "She's also calling for your court-martial." "On what grounds?" "Unauthorized covert operation, exceeding operational authority, use of excessive force. She's arguing you went rogue and fabricated evidence to justify an illegal assault on a legitimate contractor facility." Jordan felt cold fury settle in her chest. There are 50 freed victims who disagree. And Vance has 18 contractors hospitalized claiming you led a military strike without proper authorization. The politics are already ugly and getting worse. Keating paused. Jordan, I'm going to be blunt. You did everything right operationally, but politically, you just became a massive liability. There are people in Washington who want you buried to protect themselves. Let them try. The CIA officer stepped forward, 50-something, silver hair, eyes that had seen every kind of betrayal. Commander Hayes, I'm Deputy Director Ellen Cross. I've been tracking Meridian's operations for 3 years. Never could get authorization to move against them because of political interference. What you did here, it's the break we needed. But it only works if we can protect you long enough to testify. I don't need protection. I need Vance and everyone connected to Meridian prosecuted. And you'll get that, eventually. But first, we need to keep you alive and out of prison. Cross pulled out a tablet. The evidence Maria Gonzalez delivered included communications between Vance and Castellano going back 7 years. Payments disguised as campaign contributions. Explicit orders to block investigations. She's completely compromised. Then arrest her. FBI did, 2 hours ago. She was released on bail 90 minutes later. Made a statement calling this a political witch hunt. Her lawyers are already filing motions to suppress evidence. Jordan wanted to scream, wanted to punch something, wanted to grab Vance personally and make her face the 50 people she'd helped enslave. So, she walks free while victims are still traumatized. That's justice? No, that's process. Cross leaned forward. But here's what you don't know. The files you recovered included client communications, buyers from 12 countries. We are coordinating with Interpol to execute simultaneous raids on trafficking networks across Southeast Asia. This doesn't end with Meridian. It ends with the entire ecosystem that sustained them. Havoc appeared beside Jordan. How many facilities? 43, that we know of. Some operated by Meridian directly, others by affiliated organizations. Cross's expression was grim. Conservatively, we're looking at 3,000 victims in the pipeline. Your sister's investigation, Commander, it didn't just expose one operation. It exposed an entire industry. Jordan's knees felt weak. 3,000 people. Rachel had tried to save them all and died before she could. Now Jordan had to finish it. What do you need from me? Testimony. Congressional hearing in 5 days. You're going to tell them everything. Every detail of your operation, every piece of evidence, every victim you saw. And you're going to do it on live television, where Vance and her allies can't bury it. I'll be there. There's a complication. The DOJ representative spoke for the first time. Young, maybe 35, voice tight with stress. Castellano's lawyers are claiming he'll only provide full testimony about the network if he gets witness protection and immunity from prosecution. Jordan's vision went red. Absolutely not. He ordered Rachel's murder. He trafficked hundreds of people. He doesn't get immunity. We don't want to give it to him, but without his testimony, we can't prove Vance's direct involvement. Can't connect her to the larger network. She walks. Then we find another way. There isn't another way. Castellano kept the detailed records. He has names, dates, transactions. He's the key to everything. Jordan turned to Havoc. Tell me there's another option. Havoc's expression was conflicted. Derek kept records too. Personal files about his investigation. I have them, but they're 5 years old. Not enough to prosecute current operations. What about Christina Park? Cross shook her head. Lawyered up immediately. Hasn't said a word. James Wu? Same. They all know the first one to talk gets the best deal. Right now, that's Castellano. Jordan felt trapped. Giving Castellano immunity meant Rachel's killer walked free, but letting Vance escape meant the system that enabled Meridian survived intact. How long do I have to decide? 12 hours. After that, his lawyers go public with the offer. Media gets involved. Pressure increases. Cross softened slightly. I know this is impossible, Commander, but sometimes justice means making impossible choices. Jordan walked away from the group, found a quiet corner of the tarmac, pulled out her phone, and opened the photo of Rachel from their last Christmas together. Bright smile, full of life. No idea what was coming. Mai approached quietly. Commander, are you okay? No. They want me to let Rachel's killer go free in exchange for testimony against others. How is that okay? Mai sat beside her. Rachel talked to me about justice once. I asked her why she kept fighting when nothing seemed to change. Know what she said? Jordan shook her head, unable to speak. She said justice isn't about punishment. It's about making sure it doesn't happen to the next person. About breaking cycles. Mai's voice was steady. If letting Castellano go means stopping 3,000 people from being trafficked, Rachel would say, do it. Because she cared more about preventing future victims than punishing past crimes. How do you know that? Because she let 2 men who tried to assault me go free in exchange for information about the facility. She was furious about it, cried after, but she made the trade because the information saved lives. Mai met Jordan's eyes. Your sister wasn't about revenge. She was about saving people, even when it hurt. Jordan's tears fell freely now. Mai was right. Rachel would have made the trade, would have swallowed her rage and grief, and done what saved the most people. But God, it hurt. She walked back to the group. Castellano gets his immunity, but I want conditions. Full testimony, complete cooperation, every name, every transaction, every victim he remembers. And he spends the rest of his life in witness protection looking over his shoulder, knowing the people he betrayed want him dead. Cross nodded. Done. I'll have the paperwork drawn up within an hour. One more thing. The second facility where Rachel died. I want to be there when they search it. I want to see where she spent her last moments. Keating's expression softened. Lieutenant Reyes is already on site. His team secured it 3 hours ago. I can have a helicopter take you there now if you want. Jordan looked at Havoc. He nodded. Let's go. The flight took 40 minutes. Jordan spent it in silence, watching jungle pass beneath them, thinking about Rachel driving this route in reverse, probably knowing they were following her, probably terrified. The facility was exactly as Castellano described, an abandoned mining operation converted into a processing center. Concrete buildings, rusted equipment, the kind of place that had been forgotten by everyone except the people who used it for nightmares. Lieutenant Felix Reyes met the helicopter. Early 40s, tired eyes, the look of someone who'd seen too many victims and not enough justice. Commander Hayes, I'm sorry we couldn't save your sister, but her investigation, it's saving hundreds now. She'd be proud of what you did. Show me where it happened. Reyes led her to a small room in the main building. Interrogation space, maybe. Concrete walls, drain in the floor, nothing else. Jordan's imagination filled in the rest. Rachel here, alone, afraid, facing men who'd decided she was too dangerous to live. We found evidence suggesting 11 people were killed here over 4 years. Your sister was the last. Strand confessed to her murder about an hour ago in exchange for reduced charges. Jordan's hands clenched. What did he say? That he followed her from the main compound,
ran her off the road outside Bangkok, made it look like a traffic accident. She was unconscious from the crash. Reyes hesitated. Tell me. He suffocated her, made sure she didn't wake up.
Then he staged the scene, called it in as a single-vehicle accident, and disappeared before first responders arrived. Reyes's voice was carefully neutral. For what it's worth, he said she didn't suffer, that it was quick. Jordan felt something break inside her. All this time she'd imagined Rachel dying afraid and alone. Knowing didn't make it better. Made it worse somehow. More real. Where exactly on the highway? I can show you, but Commander, show me. They drove in silence. Reyes stopped at a curve 20 kilometers from Bangkok. Skid marks still visible on the pavement. Broken guardrail never repaired. The spot where Rachel's car had gone off the road. Jordan stood there for a long time. Imagined her sister's last moments. The realization that the vehicle behind her wasn't going to stop. The impact. The fear. The darkness. I should have been here, Jordan whispered. She tried to tell me something was wrong. I heard it in her voice on our last call. But I was in Yemen, focused on the mission. I told myself I'd call her back when I had time. Havoc put a hand on her shoulder. You couldn't have known. I'm a SEAL. I'm trained to read situations, assess threats, and I missed it with my own sister. Because she hid it. Because she didn't want you to risk your career. Because she loved you enough to protect you, even when she needed help. Havoc's voice was rough. I made the same mistake with Derek. Told myself he was fine, that I'd check on him next week, next month. Then he was dead, and I had 30 years to regret it. Does the regret ever stop? No. But it gets balanced by what you do after. Derek's death led me to investigate Meridian. That investigation led to you, which led to 50 people freed and a network exposed. Maybe that's how we honor them. Not by drowning in guilt, but by making their deaths mean something. Jordan knelt, touched the pavement where Rachel's car had crashed. I love you, Rach. I'm sorry I wasn't here, but I finished what you started. Everyone who hurt you is facing justice. Everyone you tried to save is free. It's not enough. It'll never be enough. But it's what I could do. She stood, wiped her eyes, turned to Reyes. The 11 people who died here, do we know their names? Most of them. Some were identified through DNA, others through personal effects. We're working with families now to arrange proper burials. I want to attend all 11 funerals. I want to look their families in the eye and tell them their deaths mattered, that we stopped the people who killed them. Reyes nodded. I'll coordinate with you. The helicopter ride back was quiet. Jordan felt hollowed out, empty of everything except a bone-deep weariness. But underneath the exhaustion was something else. Purpose. Direction. This wasn't over. This was just beginning. 5 days later, Jordan sat in a congressional hearing room wearing her dress uniform, her SEAL trident gleaming under harsh lights. Television cameras lined the walls, every major news network broadcasting live. The gallery was packed with journalists, advocates, and in the back row, Mai Chen and the other freed victims. Senator Patricia Vance sat at the committee table, perfectly composed, expensive suit, hair immaculate. She looked at Jordan with an expression of polite interest, like she didn't know exactly what was about to happen. Chairman Wilkins banged his gavel. This hearing of the Senate Armed Services Committee will come to order. Lieutenant Commander Jordan Hayes, you've been called to testify regarding covert operations against Meridian Security Solutions. Do you swear to tell the truth? I do. Please begin. Jordan took a breath, thought about Rachel, about Mai, about 50 freed people and 3,000 more waiting. My name is Lieutenant Commander Jordan Hayes. I'm a Navy SEAL with 8 years of service. 2 months ago, my sister Rachel Hayes was murdered by contractors working for Meridian Security Solutions because she discovered they were operating a human trafficking network across Southeast Asia. I went undercover to expose them. What I found was worse than anyone imagined. She spent the next hour laying out everything: the facilities, the victims, the systematic trafficking, the political protection. Every detail supported by documentation, video evidence, victim testimony. Vance's composure held for 47 minutes. Then Jordan pulled out the financial records. These documents show payments from shell corporations linked to Meridian to Senator Vance's campaign and family foundation. Total amount over 7 years, $8.4 million. In exchange, Senator Vance used her position on this committee to block oversight, suppress investigations, and ensure Meridian operated without interference. Vance's lawyer shot to his feet.
Objection! Those records are inadmissible. They were obtained through illegal surveillance.
They were obtained through a sanctioned covert operation authorized by the Secretary of Defense. They're completely admissible. Jordan didn't break eye contact with Vance. Senator, do you want to explain why Meridian paid your family foundation $2 million the same week you blocked an investigation into their operations in Cambodia? I don't have to explain anything to you. You're a rogue operator who violated international law. I'm a SEAL who exposed the largest trafficking network in Southeast Asia while you profited from it. Jordan's voice was steel. And every victim in this gallery, every person you helped enslave, is going to testify after me. 50 people, with 50 stories, all of them naming you. Vance's perfect composure finally cracked. You can't prove I knew about the trafficking. Victor Castellano already did. In his deposition yesterday, 7 hours of testimony, all of it implicating you. Jordan smiled. It wasn't a warm smile. He's very thorough when his freedom depends on it. The gallery erupted. Journalists shouting questions, cameras flashing. Vance's lawyers surrounding her, trying to control the damage. Chairman Wilkins banged his gavel repeatedly. Order! Order in this hearing! But the chaos had already begun. Within an hour, Vance's resignation was announced. Within 3 hours, FBI was executing additional warrants. Within 6 hours, the entire network was unraveling on live television for the world to see. Jordan walked out of the hearing room, exhausted, but lighter. She'd done it. Rachel's evidence, Mai's courage, Havoc's dedication, and her own refusal to quit had brought down an empire. Mai was waiting in the corridor. Behind her, 20 of the other freed victims. We wanted to thank you, all of us, for not giving up. Jordan embraced each of them. Thank Rachel. This was her fight. I just finished it. Then we'll thank you both. Mai's smile was genuine, the first real smile Jordan had seen on her face. What happens now? For you? I don't know. Probably a lot of debriefings. Maybe a court-martial. Definitely a long vacation. Jordan paused. What about you? Some of us are going home. Some can't. Our countries aren't safe. But there's an organization helping us, providing housing, education, job training, helping us rebuild. Mai's eyes held hope Jordan hadn't seen before. We get to live again. Because of you and Rachel. Live well. That's the best revenge. 1 week later, Jordan stood at Rachel's grave. The headstone was simple granite, with Rachel's name, dates, and a new edition Jordan had requested. She fought for those who couldn't fight. She died so others could live. Warrior, sister, hero. Jordan placed her seal trident on the grave, just like she'd promised herself she would.
I finished it, Rach. Vance is facing federal charges. Castellano's in witness protection. The whole network is shut down. 43 facilities raided. Over 2,000 victims freed. All because you wouldn't stay silent. The wind rustled through trees. Jordan imagined it was Rachel's response. I'm staying in the Navy, going to work on a task force addressing contractor oversight. Make sure this never happens again. Havoc's joining me. Says Derek would want him to keep fighting. Jordan's throat tightened. I miss you every day. Miss your voice, your laugh, your terrible puns. But I'm grateful I got to be your sister. Grateful you showed me what real courage looks like. She touched the headstone gently. Rest easy now. You earned it. Havoc approached quietly. Ready? Yeah, one more stop. They drove to Derek Richardson's grave.
Havoc knelt beside it, placed his own seal trident next to the headstone. We got them, kid. All of them. Took 30 years, but we got them. He wiped his eyes. You can rest now. Your death wasn't in vain. It meant something. You meant something. Jordan gave him privacy, waited by the car until he was ready. What now? Havoc asked when he finally joined her. Now we make sure it sticks. Congressional testimony continues next month. Trials start in 3 months. We've got years of work ahead. Good. I'm not ready to retire yet anyway. Havoc's smile was tired but genuine. Your sister would be proud of you, Jordan. What you did, it was extraordinary. We did it together. You, me, Maria, Lieutenant Reyes, everyone who refused to accept that some fights can't be won. Jordan's phone buzzed. Text from Admiral Keating. Captain Elena Rodriguez, NCIS, needs to speak with you. Defense contractor in Eastern Europe showing similar patterns to Meridian. Might need your expertise. Jordan showed Havoc the message. Another operation? He asked. Looks like it. You don't have to do this. You could take that vacation, process everything, grieve. Jordan thought about Rachel, about the promise she'd made, about 3,000 freed victims and how many thousands more were still trapped in networks like Meridian. I'll grieve, but I'll also fight, because that's what Rachel taught me. That some things are worth the cost, worth the risk, worth everything. She typed back to Keating. When do I leave? The response came immediately. Briefing tomorrow, 800 hours. Bring Richardson. Jordan looked at Havoc. You in? Always, he smiled. Let's go save some more people. They drove away from the cemetery as the sun set behind them. 2 warriors who'd lost people they loved. 2 people who'd turned grief into purpose, rage into justice, loss into legacy. Somewhere, Rachel and Derek were at peace. Their deaths had broken a trafficking network that had destroyed thousands of lives. Their courage had inspired others to fight when fighting seemed impossible, and their memory would live on in every person freed, every victim saved, every predator brought to justice. Because some fights don't end when the battle's won. They end when the warrior decides to stop fighting. And Jordan Hayes wasn't stopping. Not today, not ever. She'd made a promise to her sister to finish what Rachel started, to make sure no one else died the way Rachel did. And Jordan Hayes always kept her promises.